What's up, everybody? It's Old Man Winter 8 for Sun and Ski Sports, and this is the Ride Hera from the ground up. So when it comes to the women's lineup of boots from Ride, the Hera is probably one of the best-selling, if not the best-selling boot in their lineup. A lot of cool features. They make this thing incredibly comfortable, but also high-performing. So starting at the bottom, we have their Impact Fusion outsole, and it's made out of a very, very high premium recycled rubber. And then you can kind of see it through the bottom here, but also on the side, we have their Eco Plus Slime midsole. Very cushy, very, very comfortable feel. It's almost like having a running shoe type sole underneath your foot. And then moving up from there, right underneath your foot, they have the Impacto Ultra insole. So this thing has extra cushioning exactly where you need it, but they are putting a little bit sturdier material back underneath the heel area and kind of into the arch, giving you just a little bit more support and helping to reduce foot fatigue throughout the day. And then when we get to the shell of the boot, we've got all of those premium PU materials that Ride uses in the majority of their boots, which do help increase the life of the boot, but also adding a little bit of a rubberized kind of feel in those high wear areas, so your boot is going to last even longer. And at the midpoint of the upper, we have their articulated cuff. And this is basically where the upper of the boot is kind of wrapped around the bottom of the boot instead of making it all one piece. This way, when you're leaning forward on the boot isn't getting distorted and the shell isn't getting distorted around your ankles and kind of pushing out, because we want that to be as tight as possible. And that articulated cuff helps keep it nice and snug in your ankle, which is, again, the most important part to have tight all day long in your boot. And then moving inside the shell, we have the Intuition support liner, and it has that elastic piece on the heel, so it can create a little bit more comfort if your calves happen to be a little bit bigger or a little bit lower on the boot. And it's giving you all that extra support so you can have a nice quick reacting boot from side to side, but then they have a little bit softer feel on the inside against your foot for all day comfort. And as if that wasn't enough to keep your feet even more comfortable, we have their black gold mesh material. This is basically a material that's quick drying, it's moisture wicking, and it also helps retain heat. So as your feet lose the heat, it helps store it and give it back so your feet can stay warm. And then moving to the lacing on the boot, we have their H4 boa coiler on the front. So this is a boa that when you crank it down stays snug all day long, but when you loosen it up, it kind of sucks the laces back in a little bit, so when you go to lace them up at the beginning of the day, you don't have to pull all of the extra laces back in. And then we go to the boa on the side. This is part of their tongue-tied system. So when you crank this down, the laces go through the sides of the tongue here and really help pull this thing down to give you an even better fit on your ankle. Again, locking that heel in to hold it down all day long. But if you got any questions about anything that we talked about in this video, definitely make sure to leave some comments down below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to the Sun and Ski YouTube channel. Make sure to head on into any of the Sun and Ski locations to check out the Ride Hera, or if you don't have one nearby, you can check them out at sunandski.com.